Hi everybody, it's Jenny with I Love You More Than Gumbo, and it's breakfast time at the end of second week post-op and the beginning of third week post-op. I'm starting soft foods. I get to have scrambled eggs for the first time, and you're going to experience that with me, the good or the bad. We'll see. And I brought some of my friends from the last couple of weeks that have helped me get along. And I'm thrilled for that. So I'm going to share that with you too. But I'm going to get down to trying the eggs. They're probably cold by now after setting all of this up. But I did it in reverse order. I cooked the egg first and then I set up my stuff. Don't know why I did that. Yeah, being on clear liquids, full liquids for 2 weeks has your brain a little bit backwards, but that's okay. Cold eggs might do my stomach better. We'll see. If not, we'll just zap them in the microwave. I've got to take small bites and chew them well. I know that. And some people said scrambled eggs don't agree with their stomach right away. I prepared them as I normally would. I know dairy is something that didn't agree with me before surgery. I'm lactose intolerant. I tolerate some dairy products, not all. But I did put a little bit of half and half in to get them a little smoother. I don't know if that was a good or a bad idea, but that's how I normally make scrambled eggs. And then, of course, I salted and peppered them as I normally would. So I'm just going into it like I normally would, and we'll see how that goes. And then I'll tweak it if my stomach doesn't like it. But so far, I did some pureed foods over the past 3 or 4 days to try in my full liquid diet, the kind of stuff you could suck through a straw, because that's what full liquids were defined as. So I tolerated everything I tried very well. So I'm trusting eggs won't let me down. Here goes. Here's the airplane going into the hangar. Okay, cold eggs don't taste bad. Swallowing goes well. So far, so good. The esophagus likes it. And again, this is literally the first day of week 3. And it was hard to get my 25 chews in because I had such a small bite. It literally disintegrated. The stomach's not hating it. Now, just for show, I made a cup of coffee with cream. I did put a little bit of half and half because no carbs. But I put the half and half in because I did put some Miralax in. This is the first time I put Miralax in my coffee, for obvious reasons. Although I haven't had a problem with that up until a couple of days ago. So I put the Miralax in my coffee. And I don't like it in black coffee. So I put a little bit of cream. It looks like a lot of cream, but when you use half and half, a little bit lightens it up. So far, the tummy has no reaction. Sometimes when I eat something, there's a little noise, or if I drink something, it'll bubble. It's hard to explain, but if you've had the surgery, you know what I mean. And you know not to do that again. But that was only right after I had surgery, when I drank like the first sip of Crystal Light, it made some weird thing. There's no pain, no sensation whatsoever. So I'll keep eating after I do the video because cold eggs don't bother me. Yeah. So your best friend is protein and hydration. The doctors say to hydrate with alkaline water because your tummy doesn't like regular water. Well, I have filtered water from my refrigerator, and it hasn't bothered my tummy at all. So I didn't bother wasting the expense of alkaline water. I don't know. I'm going to talk to my doctor tomorrow for my first post-op visit and find out if that was a bad idea or not. But I've just done my filtered water. And I hauled this in one of my $1 Wednesday hauls. This is an Elvira tumbler with the times. It's also got the volume listed on the back. But the times help me out because, like here, it says I need to be at this mark by 8 a.m. My time zone, it is 8:07, so I guess I better sip a little. But you're not supposed to sip 30 minutes before and 30 minutes after eating because that can flush the nutrients of the food. But since I'm not eating probably for a good 30 minutes, I'm going to get my 8 a.m. sip in. And it's a small sip. But I do like the time markers. I'll be honest, I'm not always diligent with the water, but some of the other beverages I have, such as my fruit juice or my Gatorade or my Protein 2.0, or even some of the broths I have, other liquids that I have for my nutritious stuff throughout the day, counts as my hydration needs. Sorry if I shake the camera a little. If I shake the table, it shakes my iPad that I'm recording on. Just going to apologize ahead of time for that. Or even if I have, now listen, coffee is a diuretic. I'm drinking decaf. And I only have 1 cup in the morning because that is my ritual. And I told my surgeon ahead of time, that is a ritual I refuse to give up. I gave up a lot of rituals for VSG life. Not one of them. That is a ritual I'm staying true to because it is my meditative time in the morning. And I enjoy it. And it brings me peace. And it's time that I talk to my 3 children that have crossed over, and that is something that's tied together and glued to my soul. So decaf I will do for the rest of my life in the morning. I gave up the caffeine. I will not give up the beverage. So boundaries that will not be crossed. So if you're going to bring that to me, don't drink coffee. Keep it to yourself. It's decaf. And this is the only day I'm going to have half and half because it's the Miralax. And I can even see the part that didn't dissolve. It doesn't have a taste. It doesn't affect the taste. It's the texture. Also things I do first thing in the morning with my breakfast. I take my B12 complex, my calcium citrate, these dissolvables. I will do those right after I eat. And then 2 hours minimum later, I have my 2 Flintstone vitamins. That's that. Anything above and beyond this will be recommended by my doctor when I talk to him tomorrow. This is what his team recommended. They did not recommend anything further than this outside of my iron and D3. This has the iron, and my D3 is prescribed by my allergist and my personal care physician, or primary care physician, that I take once a week. So if there was anything above and beyond this as far as my D3 concerns, taken care of. K2, I'm deficient. I also take that according to my PCP and my allergist who have done blood tests, and I have a prescribed amount of that. So vitamins and minerals, taken care of. I'm religious about that. I know people do not want to take them because they might make their tummy feel weird or whatever. It's all about when you take them. You shouldn't take them on an empty stomach, and you need to be hydrated. So pay attention to how much you're eating and how much you're hydrating. And if you're having your protein allowance, 60 to 80 grams a day, if you're not getting enough water, 64 to 80 ounces a day, depending on your body weight, I would imagine. Talk to your doctor about that. And if you're not getting enough protein throughout the day, and if you're not taking them with a meal, you're doing something wrong. Also, I got some advice from a channel, TimetoShrink. Look that channel up. She's mostly got recipes that are great. I just portioned out in 2-ounce cups as I made it into week 2, but there was 1-ounce cups before that. This is just applesauce, unsweetened applesauce. And then we had leftover Bob Evans mashed potatoes and some summer crisp corn from a barbecue my husband did last weekend, and a weekend before that, not yesterday weekend. And when it was closer to the end of the week, I pureed them into a mash, and I just would eat this for lunch rather than throw the food out. and I added some of my Ride or Die Sam's Club organic chicken bone broth, fat-free, gluten-free. It has 9 grams of protein per serving, but I put some of this into it. I am still waiting on, it's taking a while, on my Gene Pro to show up. So adding protein to my foods post-op with Gene Pro, well, that's come and gone, but I will add it once it shows up. It's supposed to be here sometime this week. So if you want to get Gene Pro, I ordered it from Walmart.com. I will link it below if you are approaching your surgery date or if you want to get it post-op. 1 little scoop adds like 30 grams of protein. I got that from the TimetoShrink channel. Her channel's been wonderful because I got some recipes I'm going to try later today because I made my own yogurt late last night and I forgot to record the process, but it's really simple. If you have an Instant Pot, you just take a little cup this size of, I get the Great Value brand Greek yogurt non-fat, dump the whole cup in with a container of like the half-gallon size of the Great Value brand knockoff of Fairlife milk, Skim, the non-fat, dump it all in. You have to stir it so there's 0 clumps, as few bubbles as possible. So when you stir it, stir slow. I usually just put a little bit of the milk in, enough to start stirring the yogurt, and you stir till it's all blended and then dump the rest of the milk in slowly, no bubbles. And you're just going to put the top on your Instant Pot, hit the yogurt button, up the time to 12 hours. Let it go. And then pull the pan out so it cools. And once the pan feels, close to room temperature, put it in the fridge. Let it sit for about 4 to 8 hours. The longer the better, but no longer than 8 hours. And then you're going to put it into a strainer. I can link the strainer I have. But if you have a big bowl, a sieve, and a cheesecloth, or a nut milk bag, you can strain it like that, but that's a little more advanced. I'll try to link everything I have below. But you can make your own yogurt that way and use that instead of mayo, instead of sour cream, instead of all kinds of white greasy things to make tuna salad, chicken salad, buffalo chicken dip. You can use it to substitute for a lot of things. And then you can flavor it with whatever you want to make your own yogurt instead of buying all these things. But I bought these because I didn't feel like making yogurt pre-op. I was just lazy. Although I bought all the ingredients to make yogurt, I just didn't do it. So anyway, these are the things I used as meals. And trust me, with these and 2 of my Muscle Milk Pro, Slam and Strawberry or chocolate, all I have left are Slam and Strawberry right now. I was full the whole day on top of drinking water and I call these juices, but they're not. They're Protein 2.0, which I get off Amazon, and Gatorade protein drink. So all that really kept me full. I didn't drink as much broth by itself. Actually, I didn't drink any at all as a soup after getting out of the hospital. I thought I would. I had little 1 ounce and 2 ounce cubes ready to go to melt in the saucepan. I never used them. Not once. Not once. This is a habit you develop. Sip, sip, sip. Yeah. Let's talk about the yogurt game. As far as purchasing yogurts, fat-free, 0 sugar. Basic rule of thumb is less than 1 gram of sugar is what my nutritionist told me for drinks and stuff like that. But as far as yogurts go, the easy one is Oikos 000. It has 0 added sugar, 0 artificial sweetener, 0 fat. That's why it's called 000. The easy one to grab and go because it's bariatric patient friendly. The Light and Fit Greek, it's got less protein. This one has 15 grams. It has less protein. And if I read it correctly, it's got 80 calories where this one has Where was it on here? I forgot how many. I should have it memorized by now, but I put everything in my app. Where's the label? This one was pre-packaged, so I think it's on the big package. I can look it up. But I think this one has 70 calories. This one has 80 calories, 12 grams of protein. And I want to say it has no fat as well. This one, the Too Good, is also a really good one for bariatric patients, where it has 80 calories as well, 2 grams of fat, but it has 4 grams of carbs, where it's only got 2 grams of sugar. So it's much like the other ones where it's got a really low sugar count and it's really healthy. This is one I like to use when I'm making my homemade yogurt. I will throw one of these vanilla packets in there to sweeten up the yogurt when I'm making a full batch for only eating, not for substituting for mayo and sour cream. But usually if I'm making a batch of yogurt to substitute for mayo and sour cream, like I'm doing today to make chicken salad and buffalo chicken dip and things like that, tuna salad, those, a lot of food recipes, I'll use just plain Greek yogurt that's non-fat. But if I'm making yogurt for smoothies, eating in like little cups like this, like I'll put them in my little ramekins, I'll add this vanilla one and it sweetens it up just a hair. And then I can add to it fruit, honey, a little bit of cinnamon, and it's delicious. Or sometimes I'll even put in a spoonful of applesauce. That's really good in yogurt. Okay, this mason jar, I've got, you can see the little stuff at the bottom. I've got these all up in my kitchen. You can put in your electrolyte water. I'm giggling because this one I need to drink today. It's getting on its last days. It was clear before I shook it earlier this morning. This one is blueberry and watermelon. I have straight watermelon. I have straight cucumber. I have carrot. What other ones do I have? I think that's all I have left. But I have got several mason jars where I took whatever fruits and vegetables I had left from my pre-op diet, which was a lot, and I put them all in the mason. I juiced them and put it all in the mason jars. You don't get the nutrition as you would from the actual pulp of the fruit or vegetable itself. So keep in mind, this is not high in nutrition. As much as people like to think fresh squeezed juice is really high in nutrition. It's not. It's just a good option to plain water. Also, my sweet, sweet goddaughter and her stepsister and her mom brought me over one of those naked juice bottles. They said at post-op, they said, "Oh, you're on liquid diet. We wanted to bring you one of these nutritious things." That was very sweet, and I smiled and accepted the gift. What they did not know, 52 grams of carbs, sugar in that little fresh squeezed juice bottle. It's not a healthy drink. It's not what people like me need to be drinking. So I could have put that into 52 of these and diluted it to make it my 1 gram of sugar drink, because that's what I'm supposed to be drinking per serving. But what I did is I did separate it. I put 4 servings into a mason jar and diluted it. And I just made sure, because I have to sip, I made sure I only drank 4 servings out of each mason jar. It took up a lot of mason jars. And it was delicious. I got my use out of it because I'm still drinking off of it too. It looks a lot like this, the pink drink. And it is delicious. So you can get your hydration in many different ways. And it can't substitute as a meal because there's not enough nutrition in it. And there really isn't, there's nutrition in this potato corn mash. Starch. It's going to have a lot of starch. So I have to watch myself with that. It's this 2 ounce. I have to eat very slowly. It takes me about 2 hours when I nibble on this because of the starch. I don't want to put it in over an hour time. So I take 2 hours to eat it because of the starches in it. But the applesauce, I can eat this in 30 minutes. It's so light. But there's 0 protein in this. None. So I need my Gene Pro, Walmart. I need my Gene Pro. So when I have this, I will make sure that the 30 minutes after it, I also followed up with a Muscle Milk Pro. It's all about the math. You have to make sure you get your protein in. So when your meal doesn't have the protein, you have to make sure you follow it up with a high protein something or add protein to it. So I knew what I was doing mathematically with the protein. I just was eating what I could eat and what I had in my pantry and my fridge. I tried to keep the expenses down, and yeah, I did. Snacks. My best friend. Sugar-free popsicles. And I got the Great Value brand. They were more than half the price of the name brand. So yeah, sugar-free popsicles. Added to that, my mom was visiting and I bought a lot of sugar-free Cool Whip, which my stomach tolerated fabulously. I didn't just eat straight Cool Whip. I took we made sugar-free Jello, Jello brand, but I also have the little knockoff versions of the sugar-free Jello. You can just mix more of these. It would take probably 4, 5, 6 of these. Mix it in really good. Well, break it up some. Break it up some in a bowl. Mix it in with your Jello. Me and my family call it fluff. Now, fluff traditionally also has chunks of pineapple, and you would make your Jello with the pineapple juice. No sugar added, by the way. Pineapple juice. Make your Jello with chilled, no sugar added pineapple juice. Instant Jello, the old-fashioned way, doesn't matter. But if you're going to use instant Jello, that's fine. It just doesn't taste as slamming. But it's still really good. But break up your Jello really, really well. Mix it into the sugar-free Cool Whip. And then you get this wonderful mixture. But traditional fluff, for all you people that aren't on a VSG diet, add in some finely chopped walnuts, some crushed pineapples, and you could also dice up some maraschino cherries if you want. But you mix it all up, and it's a delicious little dessert that is, it's fabulous. It's just simple. It's really easy. But for bariatric post-op fluff, just this and this. And you store it in this little dish, and I would have that as a little treat. Of course, I had to plan for it because it takes up room in your sleeve. That was a fun treat. So that's pretty much it for what kept me going. I would mix and match things every now and then. Sometimes I would have just Jello. I never had just whipped cream. Cool Whip by itself to me is not appetizing. It's got to have something with it. Cool Whip and bacon are two things that make everything better. Bacon, that's for another month. I did have some strained gumbo. That was pretty good. And not over rice, so it was not the same, but it was delicious. I put that in my previous video from the beginning of post-op week 2. I had that weekend before yesterday, and it was from Today's Catch, and I put their information on the screen the last video. So if you want to go look into my weight loss journey playlist, you can look at that VSG week 1 going into week 2 video and get their information if you want to order some. They do ship, and their gumbo is really, really good. My husband likes it because they load it down with okra. I'm not a big okra fan, but he is. So if you like okra and a nice Creole gumbo, they put chunks of tomato and chunks of okra in their gumbo. And that's a treat for some people. Cajuns don't like it, but it is good gumbo. And another really good gumbo in my area is from Par 3 Restaurant on Judge Perez, which is right next to Today's Catch. And that gumbo is amazing. It is my favorite gumbo at a restaurant. No, Mike Anderson's chicken and sausage gumbo. See, now I got a tie for the top 3 gumbos. Mike Anderson's seafood restaurant, as far as chicken and sausage gumbo goes, my favorite. But seafood gumbo, and I hate seafood. That's the funny thing, y'all. I hate seafood. But Par 3 Restaurant is one of my favorite seafood gumbos. There you go. If you hate seafood, You got to try. In Chalmette, Louisiana, spelled with a CH. Chalmette, Louisiana, Par 3 restaurant. Come down here, y'all. It's on East Judge Perez. It's the 510 exit off I-10 East. Take the Chalmette split. When it splits, take the Chalmette split. And when you get to Paris Road, it changes to Paris Road, and then you get to Judge Perez, turn left, go east. Can't miss it. It's on the right. Stop in, eat their food. You won't regret the gumbo. Get a big bowl. Skip the cup. Get a big bowl. The hamburger's good too. Yeah. So let's get to this little box here. I just made this sort of like a box, trinket box I had as a decoration. My daily pills, which I still have to do this morning. My pulse oximeter. I take my vitals every day. Temperature. And a blood pressure cuff. I don't take blood pressure medicine for my blood pressure, but I do take blood pressure medicine for my Raynaud's syndrome, which has been a struggle because my blood pressure has been low. Last week, it was extremely low, but still within a good range. It was just on the very bottom of the healthy range, which means I cannot take my blood pressure medicine for my Raynaud's syndrome, which means I am cold and feel like I have frostbite coming on all the time. Not fun. So when I talk to my primary care doctor in about a month, we're going to discuss that. And that's okay. I can deal with it. I've dealt with it most of my life. Excuse me. And then there's diazepam. You will usually get prescribed this after VSG surgery. I had to take this a couple of times in week 1. But after week 1, I didn't need it. So it just stays in this box. I'm going to ask my doctor what to do with it. Bring it to the pharmacy or keep it on hand now that I'm switching into a different food group. And if y'all hear some weird noises, the trash truck's pulling up outside. So I just keep all this in my box right next to me on the sofa because I have morning and night medication to take for, excuse me. Okay, when you hiccup or get a little burpy or googly googly, that means you're a little full inside. The water's doing that to me. So I'm going to have to take a break before I eat my scrambled eggs, I guess. I will do my vitamin chews and then eat. But I think that covers everything I have on the table. As far as tips, tricks, and advice, enjoy getting smaller. I weighed in at 245.8 this morning, so we're going to go with an even 246. Although I do enjoy the decimal point. It gives me a little bit of accomplishment. I do see a little bit of loss in my face. And my husband says he notices it most in my waist. I enjoyed that compliment very much. Although he said my butt doesn't look any different. I wish that looked different. That would make me feel really good. I noticed my Apple Watch bands fit a little looser, which is, I'm glad I had the solo type, the loops with the adjustable. Get these off of Amazon. I have several of these, so I can adjust it to fit a little tighter. And I use an app on my phone called My Net Diary, and it's got all the macros, and it tracks my weight and all kinds of good stuff. I also put everything into my vitals in my health app. I have had to buy a couple of new pieces of clothing to cover some of the staples that I wear every day. Not like underpants and bras. I haven't bought new pieces of that yet. They're still fitting good enough. But just a couple of t-shirts. My pajamas are fitting a little looser, which the only discomfort in that is when I sleep, they get a little twisted around my body. I woke up where the shirt's kind of this way, but I'm not going to get another size in pajamas just yet. I don't want them fitting tight. So I'm going to wait till they're very loose before I go down a size in pajamas. I did bring an entire filled garbage bag of stuff to the battered women's shelter. I filled 2 thread up bags full of clothes that are uncomfortably baggy on me and sent those to thread up. So that was nice because I'm a total of 40, almost 41 pounds down since I started on February 2nd of this year. So that's a great accomplishment for me. In the world of obese weight loss, that's a tiny drop in the bucket, but we take every drop as a victory. The small victories, the big victories, any victory is a victory. And I do pat myself on the back for that. I've got somewhere between 80 and 120 pounds to go to get to my goal weight. I say that range because I don't know an exact number of where I want to be. I just know when I get there, I'm going to know what it feels like. I think I want to be in the 140 range, maybe 145, 135, 140. I'm not sure because I'm so large busted and I have been since I was 13. And if I get to 135, I will be the weight I was in high school. Who's to say that looks good on me now in my 50s? I don't know. I might look great at 145 because in my mid to late 20s at 145, I could have been a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model just with big boobs. So I don't know. I might look good at 150. I don't know at my age what weight is going to look good on me because my body is different now. I've birthed and lost 3 children. I am gravity ridden with all of this now. I've been through a hysterectomy and menopause. Yeah, at this early age, I think I've finished my menopause. No more hot flashes. Sorry for you still going through it. I finished early, but I started early. So all you women in your 40s who haven't gone through it yet, I started really early. So that sucked. But yeah, so I don't know what number is going to be my number. So when I get to 150, that's where I'm going to start paying attention to the changes and start getting ready for a breast reduction. Yeah, I'm going to have the breast reduction come hell or high water. I'll have another chat with you guys. This is the first time I had the energy to have a more in-depth chat. The body reveal, the body reveal will be later. There's nothing significant to show yet. I mean, you might be able to see it. I don't know. My waist is smaller. I can feel it. All of my steri strips have fallen off. Took my first bath this morning. I felt secure enough with my incision spots because they say around day 15. Well, that'll be tomorrow. So I said, you know what? 2 tears in a bucket. I'm taking a bath. And I just soaked in that tub like I hadn't taken a bath in 20 years. So today was a very, very good day for me. I feel really good. I'm still not sure about this cup of coffee. It might just be here for aesthetic purposes. But I'm going to chow down on these eggs for about an hour and may make another cup of coffee because it's just looking like sludge. Going to get this water down at lunchtime today with my protein drink, and then I'll probably have a protein drink for dinner. I think the only solid food I'm going to have today are the eggs. And then the chicken salad I make will probably be lunch tomorrow. I'm going to go slow introducing the soft foods into my diet. I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous about putting food back in my stomach. But the first bite, great. We'll see if the rest of the bites do well. And just to show how much is in this bowl, it's a lot. To me, that's a lot. So I might only eat half of this and save the other half for later today. We shall see, because I'm used to eating this much for a meal. And that's probably as much eggs as I'm going to get down. Yeah. So that is my End of week 2, beginning of week 3, story time, speech, showcase. Feel like I'm missing something. I didn't have any of the no sugar added fudge pops. I think I might go to the store and get some of those. But as of now, I'm pretty well stocked up for a good couple of weeks. I go back on regular diet at the end of my 30-day, which will be August 24th, 2023. And that might be my next food check-in. I know I'm going to have another Temu video coming up. I have not posted a Temu video in a while, so check in for that soon. Hopefully I'll have time to film it later today, if not sometime tomorrow. And if the doctor has anything really interesting to say, I might film it. We'll see. Oh, hair loss. Haven't lost much hair. I guess I'm getting enough protein in. Hopefully some of this will grow back. This is where my bald spot is from being sick. Maybe some of that will come back. We'll see. And there's more balding here. I don't talk much about that. There's not much to say, except I was sick and lost some hair, and my eyebrows didn't really come back when they fell out. But we'll see if that comes back. They probably won't. Let's be real. Once your follicles die. But I don't know if the follicles died. That's the thing. The follicles just may not have enough zip to grow hair. We'll find out, won't we? Yeah. And I am hoping, oh, I did forget to bring something up. I was about to say I'm hoping to get enough energy to really exercise once I get clearance. I have another week to go on my exercise clearance. One more week and I'm cleared to exercise. But what I have been doing is probably against the rules. I haven't felt much up to walking because I just walk back and forth around the house because it's been way too hot to go outside. I get on my recumbent bike and I just pedal really slow, like literally sloth speed, just to get some movement in. And I pedal for about 30 minutes and it hasn't hurt my belly at all. And I just started that 3 days ago. I did wait till probably day 11 because I wanted to give my sutures time. I waited till my last steri strip fell off. And that's when I started pedaling sloth speed. I mean, it took me 30 minutes and I went 2.3 miles. So I was going really slow. But I wanted to get some movement in because walking around the house was getting so hella boring. And so I incorporate that plus walking around the house. So I get my total of 150 minutes of movement in for the day, but doesn't qualify as exercise. And I just jot down the minutes on a piece of paper because we need to get 150 minutes of moving, just some sort of movement in every week. That's what the bariatric nurses told us to try to do. And if it's 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there, so that's what I do. I just get on the bike and it totals 30 minutes. I don't do it for 30 minutes straight. One time I did, and that was just sloth speed. Took forever. But I was watching a Jamerrill Stewart video. If you don't watch her Large Family Table YouTube channel, she's really cool. I was watching one of her videos, and her videos can be over an hour. And I just got lost in the video. And then I realized, oh, I need to stop biking. And I had gone 31 minutes. So do your thing. And make sure you follow your doctor's guidelines and do what you're told. That's about that. Don't forget, I love you more than gumbo. And I'll see you next time. Bye. Let's eat these eggs. That's a big bite. See ya.